So I was just reading an article here, and I'll put that in the description box, so go have a read of it yourself. And within this one, Anthony Joshua believes that Deontay Wilder will retire within the next couple of years. And we'll get straight into his statement, and then we'll have like a quick chat about it. So Anthony Joshua's statement: me and Wilder is the best fight in the division. With Povetkin, I am looking past him because I'm going for the big guns now. If you beat me and beat me in a rematch, then you are set to be king of the heavyweight division. But if you believe it, then you have to sign a contract and get it done. Wilder will make a deal, because if you believe you are better than me and you can prove it to the world in a global event, then why wouldn't you fight me? And that's to all of them, including Tyson Fury. It's been a long time, and Wilder has been hurt by people like Eric Molina and others. I think maybe he has 2 or 3 years left. So that is Anthony Joshua's statement. So it's interesting that he says that, well, I mean, first of all, he brought up the fact that Deontay Wilder has been hurt by people like Eric Molina and others, which, you know, he has. He did get rocked by Eric Molina. And he's been hurt by Duapa. He got stunned by Luis Ortiz. He got dropped by Harold Sconiez and others. And that is true. But it's interesting that Joshua would say this without a provocation for it. So that's pretty much a subliminal: he can be hurt. And if Aaron Molina can wobble him, then I certainly can hurt him and potentially stop him. That's pretty much how I read that one. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, he says that Wilder's got 2 or 3 years left. Now, I've been saying this for the past several months now, that I do believe that Deontay Wilder, as soon as he loses, he will retire. Because he said on numerous occasions that he hates the training and he can't wait for the day to stop it. And he's had a couple of surgeries on his hands, so his hands are, made of crisps? I don't know. But, I mean, this is pretty common practice for boxers anyway. You know, they damage their hands all the time. So it's no real different for Wilder, but if Wilder's having problems with his hands, because he broke his hand on the head of Chris Arreola as well, and he's had to have surgery on a couple of occasions now that I'm aware of. So for me, I think because he's punishing his body and he hates it and he keeps hurting himself, then I believe that once he loses, then that will be the end of him. So if he loses to Tyson Fury, he won't necessarily retire straight then. I think he'll have the rematch, because within this contract, I'm hearing that there's probably going to be a rematch, and rightly so, there should be, because it is a voluntary defense. It's not a mandatory. So in a rematch, if he still can't beat Tyson Fury, then that's it. He'll cut it. So either way, to retire in 2 or 3 years, maybe, because for me personally, I can't see Wilder going 2 or 3 years being undefeated. I really can't. He's had it quite, I'm not going to say easy, but he's managed to have the Sharks kept away for quite some time. But now the Sharks are at his front door and they are knocking. They want to come on in. So he's going to have to contend with, first of all, Tyson Fury. Is Tyson Fury ready? Personally, I say no, but I hope that he is. And if he is back to even close to being full fitness and fighting sharp, then he's going to school Wilder. But ultimately, he's got the likes of Joshua, of course. He's got the likes of Dylan White, a Dominic Brazil even. And there's plenty of people out there. Now, one thing in here that I don't like what Joshua says is that I am looking past Povetkin. Povetkin is the most dangerous person that you have been in the ring with to date, Joshua. So you do not look past him. Stop listening to these people who say this is going to be an easy work. Just walk through him in 2 or 3 rounds. This is a tough fight. Now, maybe it's a case of I'm reading that wrong. He's not looking past him as in this is going to be an easy fight. Maybe he's looking past him because he has future goals. Maybe that's what he's looking at. But for me, I hope he isn't looking past him. You know, one fight at a time. That's what all fighters should be doing. Now, he says that Wilder will make a deal if he really believes that he's better than him. Well, so far, and this is a fact, that Team Joshua have sent contract to Deontay Wilder on a couple of occasions now, and Wilder didn't sign it. He agreed to the terms. He agreed to fight in the UK. He knew roughly the date, and he definitely knew the venue. But he refused to sign because the date and the venue wasn't in the contract. But yet, here he is, he signed with Tyson Fury with no date and contract. So, for me, he's given off all the signals that he doesn't actually want the fight. And I know people will point to the fact that Wilder offered him 50 million. Well, first of all, it wasn't Wilder, okay? He didn't have 50 million. But it actually come from Frank Warren. Okay, here in the UK, Frank Warren and BT Sport offered to pump up the cash for them to pay Joshua the guaranteed 50 million. And Frank Warren said this with his own mouth. Anthony Joshua can't fight on Sky Sports. Anthony Joshua can't fight on BT Sport. He can only fight on Sky Sports. And the reason he can't fight on BT Sport is because he's contractually obligated to fight on Sky. The only time that he could potentially not fight on Sky is against a mandatory who won a purse bid against him. Any voluntary fight, he must fight on Sky Sports. That's his contract, as simple as that. So Frank Warren offering this 50 million, it's dead in the water. So unless 50 million was going to come elsewhere, unless they had a backup from somewhere else, then that 50 million was never going to happen. But I hope that this fight happens. And Joshua, he did say a little while ago as well that he believes that even if he loses to Povetkin, a fight with Wilder and Fury is still going to be available at some point. Likewise with the loser of Wilder and Fury, he's still willing to fight not only the winner but also the loser, as in these three should be fighting each other. Throw Dillian Whyte into the mix as well, there's quite a few good fights to be made, right? Anyway, that is Anthony Joshua's statement that he believes that Deontay Wilder will retire in the next 2 or 3 years. Anyway, you drop your thoughts below about it. Click that thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all on the next video.